From fights to miracles, how did Congress prevent the government from closing? Show title, hide title. Closing prevented House of Representatives. Democrats helped GOP in voting to keep the government open. Government 11 of the Assembly and Senate to prevent closure. It will continue to be funded for 45 days after the two-party vote per hour. Washington. With surprising development under 11th hour effort, Congress prevented the government from closing just few hours before. Lawmakers have made no progress over weeks in Assembly, which is under control of Republicans, where most of struggle for financing took place. While House of Representatives Republicans attempted one after another, strict conservatives wasted their efforts to pass the financing agreement even as deadline on September 30 was approaching. As inefficient days passed, lawmakers gradually agreed to the upcoming closure, given that they made no progress and time was running out. But within 12 hours of closing, House of Representatives Kevin McCarthy, California, short-term keep government funding at current levels. He made surprise statement that he would set up a temporary voting measure. He was afraid to do so because move was afraid anger his right wing even more. Both House of Representatives and the Senate soon approved measure with an overwhelming majority on a two-party basis. Thus, closure was prevented and lawmakers were given more time to conclude a one-year financing agreement. Here is how Congress prevented the government from being closed. Even if it seemed almost certain, Parliament was divided in negotiations all week. Left with defeat on Friday parliamentary, lawmakers were divided into two all week. McCarthy said on Tuesday night that Assembly would try to pass a temporary measure referred to as the ongoing decision that includes border security provisions and will temporarily finance government by October 31. "I want to keep the government open. I want to do the job," said at that time. Due to very weak four-seat majority of the Republicans, this measure had little chance in House of Representatives. A handful of far-right conservatives, more than 4 votes that McCarthy could afford to lose, said they would never support an ongoing decision under any circumstances. Representative Matt Rosendale, R-Mont, USA Today, who promised to oppose an ongoing decision, said on Friday that Congress would prefer to take time past the 12-pay bill. Government closure. Rosendale underestimated the effects of closure as the government's slowdown. Meanwhile, members of Problem Solvents Group, a two-party group equally divided between centrist Democrats and Republicans, kept their own versions of the ongoing solution in second plan. If lawmakers cannot prevent a closure, Group co-chair Representative Brian Fitzpatrick said the group would try present the bill to Parliament with archaic procedural movements, considering that Congress would not be able to do so to prevent closure.